Okay, this next episode is episode 18, Cause and Effect. And it was so close on the poll between this one and number 23, Borg. So I decided to watch an extra episode. So we're getting 8 this season, technically. So I'm gonna watch Cause and Effect, Borg, Inner Light, and then the 2-part season finale. Okay, Cause and Effect, here we go. Okay. Hello.
The starboard nacelle has sustained a direct impact.
Starboard nacelle?
Commercial dampers failing. We're losing attitude control.
Where's Picard?
All hands abandon ship!
There he is. Why are they showing us this? This is a dream. Was that... What? Looked hazy. Looked like it was a dream. I'm sure of it.
To seek out new life and new
You
civilization.
can't just go to an intro after a scene like that.
Captain's log, Stardate 4.
Sheesh.
The Enterprise has entered an area of space known as the Typhon Expanse.
Oh, I haven't seen a poker game in a while.
Sometimes I wonder if he's stacking the deck.
I assure you, Commander, the cards are sufficiently randomized. 8, ace, queen, the dealer receives a 4.
No bet.
10, 7, no help there. Pair of ladies for the doctor, dealer receives a 9. May I remind you, since you show the highest hand, you control the next bet.
I bet 10.
4, deuce, 6.
20.
She looks extra pretty.
You're 20 and 50 more.
I'm in.
I will also see the bet. 7 and a possible straight for Commander Riker. Jack, still no help for the Klingon.
Still no help for the Klingon.
Too rich for my blood.
My mom
20.
always says that.
100 more.
Hold.
Ooh.
200.
I wonder if it's as fun because money doesn't matter.
And 300 more.
He does not have a straight.
Let's see your cards.
Call.
Take it. How'd you know I was bluffing?
I just had a feeling.
She's not gonna show what she had?
Commander LaForge needs you in sickbay.
On my way.
At first, I thought the catwalk was spinning. As it turns out, it was me. Luckily, Ensign Fletcher was there to grab me. It's a long way down to the bottom of the warp core.
You have all the symptoms of an inner ear infection. That would explain the dizziness and the headaches. My guess is you've been working too hard.
I have been putting a lot of extra hours on this Typhon Expanse project. What is it?
I feel like we've discussed this before, and I remember giving you a hypospray for dizziness.
Well, I've never had these symptoms before today, so you must be thinking about another patient.
Try to get some rest and stay away from high places for a few days.
Like a deja vu? Something weird's going on this episode. Cute jams. That's concerning.
If we want to chart the most remote star system, we'll have to launch a probe within the next few hours.
What about the luminosity studies?
Flux spectrometers are still down for realignment.
I recommend we use a gravitron polarimeter.
I heard voices in my room last night. This morning, 10 other people reported hearing voices at the same time as I did.
Data. Did the sensors pick up anything unusual last night?
No anomalous readings were reported.
When we're through here, recheck the sensor logs.
We are getting unusual readings 20,000 kilometers off the starboard bow.
Okay, you know that first scene we saw?
It is a highly localized distortion of the space-time continuum.
Space-time continuum. Oh boy. I think I know what kind of episode we're in for.
The distortion field is fluctuating.
All main systems just went down.
Captain, something is emerging. The vessel is on a collision course. Impact in 36 seconds.
Engaging tractor beam.
Damage report!
Casualty reports coming in from all over the ship.
Starboard
Oh,
nacelle
no.
sustained a direct impact.
This is where we were.
We've got to eject the engine core!
Core breach is imminent.
Don't show me this
All
again.
hands abandon ship!
Captain's log, Stardate
What?
652.1.
Sometimes I wonder if he's stacking the deck.
I assure you, Commander.
Sufficiently randomized.
What?
Ace,
Queen.
queen, 7, no help there. Pair of ladies for the doctor.
May I
May I
remind you?
remind you, since you show the
What is
highest hand, you
happening?
control the next bet.
Is there something wrong, Doctor?
No.
Jack, 4, deuce, 6.
20.
You're 20.
You're 20, and I'll raise you 50. You're going to call my bluff, aren't you? I think I'll quit while I'm ahead.
How did you know I was going to call your bluff?
I just had a feeling.
Me too.
Commander LaForge needs you in sickbay.
On my way.
They're Groundhog Daying it.
But there's no physical...
What?
She's got the feeling.
Jordy, have you ever had these symptoms before?
I think I have.
Do you recall when?
No, I don't.
We've had this discussion before, and I know I've given you this examination. Let's check the medical logs. You've been treated several times for headaches related to your visor, but I read no mention of dizziness.
Must be deja vu.
Both of us? About the same thing?
The voices.
Do you have a minute, Jean-Luc?
He's in our chambers.
It was the eeriest feeling. When the glass broke, it triggered the sensation even more intensely than I'd done it all before.
Earlier, I was reading this book, and I had the distinct feeling that I'd read certain paragraphs before, but I assumed that I'd read the book years ago and I'd forgotten.
I've had this feeling for hours, and the voices.
It could be nothing more than the result of a sleepless night, but let's be sure. Have Data and Geordie run a shipwide diagnostic. We'll discuss the results tomorrow at 700 hours.
Thank you for everything.
Oh, thank Aunt Adele.
I just want them to make out.
There was no evidence of auditory anomalies anywhere on the ship.
We are getting unusual readings 20,000 kilometers off the starboard bow.
Start reversing now.
There's a highly localized distortion of the space-time continuum.
Back us off, Ensign.
Slowly.
Nice and slow.
The distortion field is fluctuating.
All main systems just went down.
There's an energy buildup in the distortion field. Something is emerging.
Shields up.
Shields up. Shields inoperative.
I can't watch him die again.
Casualty reports coming in from all over the ship.
Initiating emergency core shutdown.
All hands man the ship!
All hands.
Captain's log, stardate 45.
Sometimes I wonder if he's stacking the deck.
I assure you, Commander, the cards are sufficiently randomized.
I am experiencing epoch.
Deja vu.
I've been having the same feeling. A queen. You're going to give me a queen. And you're going to get a 4. 10. 7.
No help for the Klingon.
9.
9.
Jack.
Deuce. 6.
This is highly improbable.
How did we know?
Wait. Crusher to sickbay.
Sickbay here.
Is Commander LaForge there?
No, Doctor, he's not. Wait a minute. He just came in.
Have you been getting the feeling that you've experienced certain things before? A sense of repetition?
Just recently.
There have been similar incidents reported all over the ship. Feelings of deja vu. His dizziness is being caused by a phase shift in his visual receptors. It's causing him to see images that aren't there. Picked up minuscule distortions in the surrounding Dekian field.
Run a localized subspace scan to look for anything else.
Is she gonna be trimming her flowers? I've had, like, you know, that weird feeling of deja vu. Why is that?
Crusher to Commander LaForge. I just heard what sounded like voices in my room, but
Sensors just picked up something strange, too. We're checking it out.
I'm on my way.
Cause and effect.
can we isolate the voices?
Computer, continuous playback, please. There are approximately 1,000 voices overlapping. The voices are those of the Enterprise crew, our voices.
What?
Our theory is this. Every time the loop begins again, everything resets itself.
You mean we could have come into this room, sat at this table, and had this conversation a dozen times already?
It's impossible to tell. We could have been trapped here for hours, days, maybe years.
I've analyzed the recording
This
Dr.
is
Crusher
crazy.
made. Most of it is quite ordinary. There is evidence of some sort of disaster aboard the Enterprise.
Worf refers to a distortion. If this were a temporal distortion, and if we were close enough to it, possible that a large enough explosion might have ruptured the space-time continuum, collided, exploded, then got caught in this repeating loop of time.
If you're right, perhaps we could escape from the loop by avoiding the collision.
That's
Yes.
our guess.
Perhaps we should reverse course.
For all we know, reversing course may be what leads us into the crash.
We can't afford to start second-guessing ourselves. We'll stay on this course until we have reason to change it.
We might not be able to figure out how to avoid this accident until it's too late. The loop begins again. We'll forget everything we learned this time around. If we do find a way to avoid this collision, we should try to send that information into the next loop.
We may be able to send a deliberate echo into the next loop.
Like a message in a bottle.
Exactly.
This is stressing me out.
If the Dekion emission is modulated correctly, I will receive the information on what you would call a subconscious level.
Take whatever steps are necessary to send a message. Dismissed.
Do you have the feeling that you've
That's-
done this before?
No, I don't.
Neither do I.
That's
Let's test the emitter.
depressing.
We're in business.
All we need now is a message.
We've got
We've
to figure
entered
out how we
some-
handled this before.
Captain, maneuvering thrusters are not responding.
The distortion field is fluctuating.
All main systems just went down. Power levels are dropping rapidly.
Something is emerging.
Shields up.
Shields inoperative.
I suggest we use the tractor beam to alter the other ship's trajectory.
Engaging tractor beam.
I thought we were gonna try something different. We can't do what we always do.
Casualty reports are coming in from all over the ship.
Inertial dampers failing. We're losing attitude control.
Guys, we have to send a message.
All hands abandon ship! Repeat! All hands abandon...
He sent himself something? Please say he sent himself something. Oh my gosh, I cannot watch him figure this out again.
Captain's log, Stardate 45.
Ah!
Sometimes I wonder if he's stacking the deck.
I assure you, Commander, the cards are sufficiently randomized.
Something wrong, Mr. Worf?
I am experiencing nipple.
I've been having the same feeling. Wait, an 8, an ace, a queen, and a 4.
3. All threes.
I was positive I knew what cards were going to be dealt.
I was also sure.
Finish dealing the hand. Look at this. We've all got 3 of a kind.
Commander LaForge needs you in sickbay.
Come on.
Jordy, have you ever had these symptoms before?
Check the logs.
I know we've had this discussion before, and I remember giving you this examination.
What do we do?
Been treated several times for headaches related to your visor. I'd like to run an optical diagnostic. I have a hunch. Have you made any changes to your visor lately?
No, why?
I'm detecting a small phase shift in your visual receptors.
Come on, guys. Put it together.
Can you come to sickbay immediately? It's urgent.
I'm on my way.
Okay, is she gonna record the voices again? But why did they have different cards this time? Was that part of Data's message?
Could be a malfunction in the ship's warp field generator.
Run a localized subspace scan to look for anything unusual.
Data, would you run a level 2 diagnostic on the warp subsystems?
That can't be right.
I have encountered the numeral 3 an inordinate number of times over the last 2 hours.
We have a Deckion field fluctuation on deck 9, section 28.
Crusher,
Crusher?
Commander LaForge. I just heard what sounded like voices in my room.
Sensors just picked up something strange, too. We're checking it out.
I'm on my way down.
I've isolated 3 segments of this recording.
All hands abandon ship! Repeat!
All hands abandoned.
And perhaps we can escape from the loop by avoiding the collision.
That's our guess.
Oh my gosh.
We've been seeing the number 3 all over the ship. On consoles, in a poker game.
Maybe someone's trying to tell us something.
Our past selves.
The only unusual thing we found was a Deckion field modulation in Data's positronic subprocessors. If I wanted to send information from one loop into the next, I might use a method like a Deckion emission. Maybe we are trying to tell ourselves something.
What could 3 indicate?
Maybe we should run a level 3 diagnostic on all key systems.
We're getting unusual readings, 20,000.
We're gonna be too late now.
It is a highly localized distortion of the space-time continuum.
Okay, guys. 3, 3, 3, 3.
Maneuvering thrusters are not responding.
All main systems just went down. Power levels are dropping rapidly.
An energy
3,
buildup in the
3,
distortion
3.
field.
I don't know what that means either.
The vessel is on a collision course. Impact in 36 seconds. I suggest we use the tractor beam to alter the other ship's trajectory.
Make it so, Mr. Worf.
No!
Engaging tractor beam.
The tractor beam will not be successful. I am decompressing the main shuttle bay.
Ah.
At the last moment, I speculated that 3 might refer to the number of rank insignia on Commander Riker's uniform. That indicated to me that his suggestion might be the correct course of action.
You must have picked up a message we sent from the last loop and stacked the deck in the poker game without realizing it.
That is possible. I may also have inadvertently been responsible for the unexplained occurrences of the number 3s.
See if we can find out how long we've been in
Yes.
this causality.
I need them to see how long.
Time base confirms our chronometers are off by 17.4 days.
Reset them, Mr. Data.
Aye, sir.
Captain, we're being hailed by the other vessel. Leader identifies it as a USS Bozeman.
This is Captain Morgan Bateson of the Federation Starship Bozeman. Can we render assistance?
I'm Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Federation Starship Enterprise. We were just going to ask you the same thing.
Your vessel is not familiar to us.
That's that one guy. What's his
Captain,
name?
have you any idea what has just happened?
Sensors detected a temporal distortion.
The Enterprise has been caught up in a temporal causality loop.
Must be mistaken. We left Starbase only 3 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know what year this is?
Of course I do. It's 2278.
Is that guy? What's that one guy's name?
Perhaps you should beam aboard our ship. There's something we need to discuss.
Francis. Fraser. That's Fraser. Have they been groundhogging it for 80 years, that ship? Well, it isn't a time-space continuum episode. Oh my gosh, I actually loved it. I mean, it's frustrating to watch, but thank heavens for all of the crew's amazing instincts, because apparently the other crew didn't have those instincts for 80 years. But I loved the spin on that episode and how They communicated with their past selves. It was fun to see that aspect or that trope brought into this and how they handled it. And I loved it. And I loved seeing more of Dr. Crusher. I want to see her more. And I want her and Jean-Luc to be together. Data's subtle brilliance. And yeah, it was very fun. Had me on the edge of my seat how they were going to figure it out. Okay, Borg next. Can't believe we're going back.
The Enterprise is charting 6 star systems that make up the Argolis cluster.
Very impressive.
I'm detecting a transmission emanating from within the system. It is self-repeating, of unknown pattern.
Where is it coming from?
A small moon orbiting the 4th planet. Readings are still inconclusive. However, the moon's atmosphere is capable of supporting life.
Could be a distress call. Take us into transport range.
So when they say, like, prepare a planet for colonization, they don't mean, like, bad colonization, like, you know, like, we're your king now, we rule you because we got here. But they mean, like, they could bring, like, explore it and people can move there if they want type thing. Because they're surprised about possible life signs on this.
I'm reading one life form, very weak signs.
Captain, that's a Borg. Guys, I got stung by a bee today. Literally was just like pulling dead parts of my plant off and grabbed a bee. So that can't be a good sign.
We found the wreckage of a small craft. One survivor. It's a Borg, adolescent. He's badly hurt.
Away team, prepare to return to the ship.
Captain, we can't leave him here. He won't survive.
The Borg usually collect their dead.
He's not dead.
The transmission that we intercepted was probably a homing signal.
Give him a chance of surviving until they get here.
Any intervention on our part would alert the Borg to our having been there.
Kill it now. Leave no evidence that we were ever here.
We're bringing a Borg survivor on board. We'll need to neutralize the homing signal. Prevent it from sending or
This is very
receiving
big of
transmissions
him.
of any kind.
Didn't the Borg kill, like, there was a big number of people.
4 more. None survived.
Captain, I was wondering if there was anything you wanted to talk about. I would have thought having a Borg on the ship would stir some feelings.
I'm quite recovered from my experience, thank you.
Even when a victim has dealt with his assault, there are residual effects of the event.
Counselor, I very much appreciate your concern for me, but I can assure you it is quite misplaced. I'm convinced that we are doing the right thing.
We've been able to control the hemorrhaging, but some of the implants in his brain were damaged. I may have to remove them.
Their brains grow dependent on the biochips.
Perhaps Geordi can construct some new implants.
We have the files we downloaded after your experience, Captain.
Do you know enough about Borg programming to alter the pathways to their root command structure? If we could get to the root command, we could introduce an invasive programming sequence and then return it to the hive.
Like a virus.
Which would infect the entire collective. We could disable their neural network at a stroke.
Make it sound as if it's a disease.
If all goes well, a terminal one.
Oh.
We're talking about annihilating an entire race.
We're at war.
But even in war, there are rules. You don't kill civilians indiscriminately.
There are no civilians among the Borg.
Oh, this is getting complicated.
When I look at my patient, I don't see a collective consciousness. I don't see a hive. I see a living, breathing boy who has been hurt and who needs our help. And we're talking about sending him back to his people as an instrument of destruction.
We're faced with an enemy who are determined to destroy us. We are justified in doing anything we can to survive.
Security to Captain. Borg has regained consciousness, sir.
What's he doing?
He's trying to find an access terminal. He doesn't understand that the signal has been cut off. For the first time, he's being forced to cope with his environment without the resources of the collective.
If I didn't know better, I'd think he was scared.
I mean, Picard has been in their collective. He's known what their plans are there. So he would know their intentions and how they work, and that if they really did just want to annihilate.
They're gonna come after us, you know that.
You all right?
You felt sorry for me. Look what it got you.
The Borg destroyed her people, right? Like 100 years ago? She's a mystery, but...
I'll have to go in to connect the power conduit.
Commander.
We are Borg. You will be assimilated. We must return to the collective.
This is for you. It regulates the power flow to the frequency that you're used to. This connection would fit that coupling on your arm.
To eat, right? I like how it has built-in metal six-pack. It gave itself that little...
Why do you do this?
I'm just a nice guy at heart.
You are not Borg. You will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
I'm here to help, but I don't have to like it.
I think we're ready to transport him. If he gives us any trouble, we can access the force field through that console. Third of 5, this is Dr. Crusher. Dr. Crusher, this is third of 5.
What is a doctor?
A doctor heals the sick. When we found you, you were dying. I saved your life.
Why?
It's my duty to help those who are hurt.
Maybe they can teach them.
Listen,
Him.
third of 5. Dr. Crusher here has repaired a lot of the damage to your biochip implant. We want to run a few tests, make sure everything's working okay.
That humans are nice.
You will be
He could take
assimilated.
that back to
Yes,
his
but before that happened, we ask you a few questions.
hive.
We will answer. What is your designation? Third of 5.
We don't have designations. We have names. I'm Beverly.
Do I have a name?
Do you want one?
He's Geordie, and you...
You.
No, wait a minute. Hugh. What do you think?
You.
No, not you. Hugh.
Hugh.
It's the prosthetic eye. Seems to be giving him very complex visual information. I'd like to take a closer look at your eyepiece. Is that okay?
Here. When you are assimilated, you will have a similar device.
Do you understand? We don't want to be assimilated.
Why do you resist us?
Because we don't want to live the way you do.
On a Borg ship, we live with the thoughts of the others on our minds.
Oh, wow.
Thousands of voices with us always.
I think what you're saying is that you're lonely.
When you have completed these tests, what will be done with us?
We'll send you home.
We will rejoin the collective.
I'm trying to picture.
You know, it's funny. When I first started creating this invasive program, I didn't have a problem. The more I work with Hugh, the more...
Hugh?
That's what we call him.
Oh, so now you have a Borg named Hugh.
Right, and he's nothing like what I expected. It's like he's just some kid who's far away from home.
Do you know that you are the second person today to refer to that Borg as though it was some sort of lost child?
Programming him like some sort of walking bomb, sending him back to destroy the others.
When that kid's big brothers come looking for him, they're not gonna stop till they find him. And then they're gonna come looking for us. And they will destroy us. And they will not do any of the soul searching that you are apparently doing right now.
I really do see both sides, but I'm trying to put it to like a example. We don't have Borgs, but
Then why don't you just listen? That is what you do best, isn't it?
this is like if you found the son of a terrorist and he's been programmed all his life to hate you or assimilate you and
Borg. Its dimensions indicate that it is a scout ship similar to the one that crashed. At present speed, they will arrive in 31 hours, 7 minutes.
Resistance is futile.
Resistance is futile.
It isn't. My people resisted when the Borg came to assimilate us. Some of us survived.
Resistance is not futile?
No, there are very few of us left.
What you are saying is that you are lonely. We are also lonely.
Every time you talk about yourself, you use the word we. You don't even know how to think of yourself as a single individual. I am Geordie. I choose what I want to do with my life. For somebody like me, losing that sense of individuality is almost worse than dying.
When you sleep, there are no other voices in your mind.
No.
Are you ever lonely?
Sometimes. But that's why we have friends.
Like Geordie and Hugh.
oh.
I have to admit, I've been having second thoughts about this plan. I've been getting to know him. He's not what I expected, Captain. He's got feelings. It just doesn't seem right using him this way.
I would suggest that you unattach yourself from the Borg, Miss LaForge.
This isn't like him, Picard, to write that off. You know, Geordie's feelings, Crusher's feelings. But I think he does have some PTSD from his work experience.
I was thinking how you said the other day that my foil was dipping, that I should get some exercise.
Well, a strong forearm is certainly an advantage in fencing.
I see an analogy coming on.
Aren't you the least bit surprised by him? I don't know what made me go see him. LaForge said I should, but I said no. I thought it was just curiosity. I need to hear you say that you are sure you're doing the right thing.
2 days ago, you were so upset about the Borg even being on the ship that you tore my foil out of my hand.
When you talk to him face to face, can you honestly say you don't have any doubt?
I saw no need.
If you're going to use this person...
It's not a person, damn it, it's a Borg!
You should at least look him in the eye once before you do it, because I am not sure he is still a Borg.
I will not alter my plans.
If you don't talk to him at least once, you may find that decision a lot harder to live with than you realize.
How many people did the Borg kill? I'm pretty sure someone told me it was 11 million when Picard was Borgy.
Locutus.
Oh, that was his Borg name.
I am Locutus of Borg.
Why are you here?
This is a primitive culture. I am here to facilitate its incorporation. Identify yourself.
He's testing him.
Hugh.
Identify yourself.
We are Hugh.
This is not a Borg identification.
Third of 5.
This culture will be assimilated.
They do not wish it.
Irrelevant.
Resistance is not futile.
All will be assimilated.
Must Geordi be assimilated?
Yes.
He does not wish it. He would rather die than be assimilated.
Then he will die.
Geordi must not die. Geordi is a friend.
You will assist us to assimilate this vessel.
This is smart of him to use this method.
I will not assist you. Geordi must not be assimilated.
But you are Borg.
No, I am Hugh.
He seems to be a fully realized individual.
So you've reconsidered the plan?
To use him this manner, we be no better than the enemy that we seek to destroy.
He's right.
Perhaps in that short time before they purge his memory, the sense of individuality which he has gained with us might be transmitted through the entire Borg collective.
There could be a Borg revolution.
Every one of the Borg being given the opportunity to experience the feeling of
individualism,
of singularity. Perhaps that's the most pernicious program of all. The knowledge of self being spread throughout the collective.
So instead of spreading a virus, an idea.
What if he doesn't want to go back?
But the Borg are after them.
Hello, Geordi.
A Borg rescue vessel is approaching. It'll be here within 3 hours. We can return you to the crash site, or if you wish, you can stay here with us.
What I wish is irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant.
If they find I am missing, they will come for me.
Well, we'll deal with the repercussions later.
Like what, fighting them?
Do you want to go back with the Borg or stay with us?
I could stay with you?
We could grant you asylum, Hugh.
But you have to tell us how to not have the Borg kill everybody.
I would choose to stay with Geordi, but it is too dangerous. Return me to the crash site. It is the only way.
Are you sure?
Yes.
He's doing the right thing, too.
Goodbye, Beverly.
Thank you for saving my life.
You saved my life.
I'd like to go down with him.
I do not want to forget that I am Hugh.
Oh,
Energize.
Hugh. You changed my mind.
We found you there, in the middle of that debris.
And that is where I will wait.
So long, Hugh.
Goodbye, Geordi. I will try to remember you.
Oh, frick. Uploading memories. Bye, Hugh. How are we gonna know if it worked? I was just hoping one of the other Borgs that came and picked him up after they, did the thing, he would be like, Hugh, give us a sign. Okay. I have thoughts on that episode, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to articulate them properly. I get what they were trying to do and humanize the Borg, and I think they did. But then if Hugh just goes back and is part of this collective again, and the collective will kill every living thing and has assimilated, destroyed whole civilizations before, then he's not an individual anymore. I don't know. And the Borg is this horrible enemy, but hopefully their plan of planting a seed of individualism spread through the Borg, they'll get that feeling hope, and maybe they'll, but if only they could see his memories and really see humans as something, he was so surprised, you don't wish to be assimilated? Oh, it's they seriously think, oh, our way is the best way. They want this. I know what they were trying to do. And it was interesting to see Picard, who's usually this voice of all things high road and goodness and loyalty, but obviously because of his personal experiences, it was very hard for him. But it was interesting to see Geordi and the Doctor be on that side and Guinan and Picard on the other. I liked it. Made you think. I wonder if we're gonna see the Borg again. I think we will, but I'm not sure in what way, especially, and if this episode will have any payoffs later if we do see them again. Okay, one more in the season before the season finale. This is Inner Light.
Following a magnetic wave survey of the Parvenium system, we have detected an object which we cannot immediately identify. Magnify.
Looks like a shark. Space shark. Oh, no. Looks like a TIE fighter.
I'm detecting a low-level nucleonic beam coming from the probe.
Shields up. Standby phasers.
The probe is emitting an unusual particle stream.
Increase speed to...
Captain, it's all right. Captain, I've got you.
How are you feeling?
What is this place? Computer, freeze program.
Cayman.
Picard to Enterprise.
Please don't get up yet. You're still not well.
What?
What is this place?
This is your home, of course.
What? Stop kidnapping him. Cayman? Did Did he get Freaky Friday? Like he switched places with someone? And Cayman is now on the ship? Guys, commenters have told me that this is the peak. I'm in the peak of TNG. That the next 2 seasons aren't as good, which I'm just having so much fun and I'm scared of that. And then I've got the movies, 3 I believe, and then the Chris Pine movies.
You really shouldn't go outside. Cayman, please come back inside.
How could this have happened?
This sapling is planted as an affirmation of life, in defiance of the drought. Whatever comes, we will keep it alive as a symbol of our survival. Back on your feet. How do you feel, my friend?
You in charge here?
In charge?
I want to be returned to my ship immediately.
What ship is that?
Just tell me, what is this place?
The fever. It's taken your memory.
That must be it. Perhaps you can help me. My name is Cayman. You are?
Bataille, council leader Bataille.
You say I've been ill?
Helene should have put you in the hospital, but she insisted on caring for you herself.
Helene?
Your wife. If you don't remember that, maybe it's safer not to go home.
Play along.
And what is this place?
This is the community of Resic.
What planet?
This is the planet Catan.
Catan, not a Federation planet. I think I'll just take a walk.
This doesn't make any sense. They see him and they think he's this guy. So there's another guy who looks exactly like him.
I've had people out trying to find you everywhere. Why did you worry us like that? Are you hungry?
Hungry, thirsty, exhausted. I suppose that proves this is not a dream.
You think that your life, is a dream?
This is not my life.
It's like another dimension.
It's delicious.
You always say that.
Would you try to answer some questions for me, no matter how strange they may seem to you? Are there any other planets in this star system? Do you visit other systems? How do you send messages to other communities, other places?
The usual way, by voice transit conductor. Do you want to send a message?
Mm-hmm. Yes. When can that be arranged?
Tomorrow. Don't you want to ask about us?
Anything you can tell me will be helpful.
The happiest day of my life was the day we got married.
And what do I do here in Resic?
You're the best iron weaver in the community, at least I think so. You prefer playing the flute.
When did I learn to play this?
I'm afraid you never did, dear. You do keep trying.
It's like a recorder.
See what you mean? The soup. Thank you for your help. Tomorrow, will you help me to send a message?
Of course.
Where did you get this?
The TIE Fighter probe.
Cayman, this is the first gift you ever gave me.
Record of sickbay. The captain's hurt.
Oh, phew. Okay, so Cayman's consciousness did not come into Picard's body.
Neurotransmitter production is off the scale. What's going on?
We should destroy the probe. Phasers are armed and ready.
Not until we know exactly what it's doing to him.
Stand on phases, Mr. Worf.
Take us out of range, Ensign. Thrusters only 100 kph.
Probe is moving with us, sir.
It's connected itself to him. You've been dreaming about that starship of yours again, haven't you?
I'm just charting the progress of the course of the sun. I give a clue to the cause of this drought.
Wait a second. How long his hair is?
The memory is 5 years old now.
What?
Was your life there so much better than this? So much more fulfilling?
5 years? He thinks he's lived here?
Cling to it with such stubbornness. But never in all the stories you've told me have you mentioned anyone who loved you as I do.
It was real. It was as real as this is.
I've been patient, Cayman. For 5 years, I've shared you with that other life. I've tried to understand. When do I get you back?
I know. It has been hard on you.
When will you start living this life? When will we start a family?
Well, are you ready? The administrator's already arrived.
Isn't he a little old to start a family?
These past few years have been very difficult for her.
And for you, I think.
5 years? Oh, boy. That's a little bit stressful. Not in
There you are, Bataille.
Enterprise time.
Perhaps
I
you
think
can
it's only been
explain to me,
minutes.
when crop dying all over, how this tree is flourishing.
Everyone in this town gives part of their water rations to keep it alive. Hope is a powerful weapon against anything.
Perhaps I shall recommend a symbolic tree in each of my communities.
But we need help if we're to increase the water supply.
You're being a bit of an alarmist, but water rationing has produced a sizable savings.
The weather pattern doesn't change. Rationing will not be enough. I suggest that we build atmospheric condensers which could extract water from the air.
I don't mean to quash your very creative ideas, but building atmospheric condensers would be a monumental undertaking.
Each community will be responsible for its own. Condensers could make the difference between watering our crops and watching them die.
I'll be glad to pass along your idea.
That went very well. I think he was impressed with you. Hearing you talk to the administrator, I realized that for the first time in years, you were speaking as though you were truly a member of the community. It was good to hear that again.
It Everything you said this morning was absolutely correct. I feel that I have given you so little, and you have given me so much.
You're a good man. I didn't mean...
No, not such a wonderful husband. I spend my spare time charting the stars, disappear for days at a time exploring the countryside.
What happened to his
My life is
messages?
very much as it was. Old habits.
Gentle and kind. You've never once raised your voice to me.
I'd like to ask your permission to build something.
You've built your telescope, your laboratory. You don't need my permission. What is it?
Nursery. If you would prefer a porch, it would certainly be much easier to build, and I could make a start on it right away.
No.
I have mixed feelings.
Jordy, any progress identifying the probe?
Maybe. Picked up some residue on the probe shell. Looks like they used a solid propellant as fuel. Sensors read this stuff as crystalline and myristal. Produces a radioactive trace.
Well, then we should be able to send out a probe of our own. I believe it would be possible to reflect the particles back toward the probe in a way that would disrupt the signal.
I simply don't know the risk of shutting down the beam.
We're going to try to cut this cord.
Okay, well, I'm relieved. Oh my gosh, they had a baby. Oh! This changes things.
This is your brother's ceremony. Don't fidget now.
So if he goes back, what will happen to his wife and children? And if Cayman does come back, will he remember his children?
We named this child for a dear friend who died a year ago, but now his memory will live on in his namesake.
We name you Bataille.
And he's starting out in the warmth of friends, thank you. I always believed that I didn't need children to complete my life. Now I couldn't imagine life without them.
Holy crap.
Cayman, what is it?
His respiratory system's in spasm. Pulse is irregular and weakening. Getting massive somatal physical failure.
2 cc selectivine. Start at 10%.
Beam is fully restored, Doctor.
Blood pressure up to 90/40 and rising.
Isocortical functions are stabilizing. Vital signs are approaching normal.
Happy day, Father.
Is he gonna, if Picard comes back, is he gonna remember these? Look how old she is. These 18 years of his life?
This isn't just a very long drought, is it, Father? I have entries in my log that go back 10 years. You've reached the same conclusion I know you have.
I haven't reached any conclusion.
You've taught me to pursue the truth. No matter how painful it is. It's too late to back off now. This planet is dying.
Perhaps I should have filled your head with trivial concerns.
I don't think you mean that.
No, I don't. Saddens me to see you burdened with the knowledge of things you can't change.
I think I should marry Danik sooner rather than later.
Seize the time, Maribor. Live now. Make now always the most precious time. Now will never come again.
I love you, Father.
This is so bizarre.
It is an unmapped system of 6 planets, sir. Any of them inhabited? The star went nova. All life in this system was destroyed approximately 1,000 years ago.
Put away your shoes for you again.
Yes, thank you, dear.
You know, I've been looking through this thing on and off for over 30 years, and I still don't see what you and Maribor find so fascinating.
And maybe you'll sit down and have a rest as you're supposed to.
People have surgery all the time.
Hmm.
He loves playing. He's quite good at it, don't you think?
And he loves doing a lot of things. Last week, all he wanted to do was be a botanist. The week before that, a sculptor. Wish he could find some focus in his life.
I think he has.
Father?
I get the feeling from your mother that you have something to tell me.
I was waiting for the right moment, but that will never come. I'm leaving school.
Leaving school? No, you're not.
I want to concentrate on my music. That's what I care about.
Well, last year, all you cared about was mathematics. The year before that, botany.
But through it all, there was my music. I think you know that, Father. This is the life I want.
We'll discuss it.
Thank you, Father.
Good grumpy old man, Picard.
Who knows how much time he'll have to follow any dream.
Are you still planning to talk to the administrator tomorrow?
The possibility he'll dismiss me from the council.
Unless, of course, you keep quiet.
The evidence is too pronounced. I can't stay silent.
What a surprise.
So is this 1,000 years ago?
Spreading rumors that the planet is doomed.
Facts are here. At least show them to someone who will recognize what they mean.
Won't be a party to your making trouble.
But then if you won't take them, I most certainly will.
Your observations, your findings. Our scientists reached those same conclusions 2 years ago. Well, what did you expect us to do? Can you imagine the effect?
Perhaps some people could be evacuated.
Our technology is limited.
A collection of genetic samples, then. Something, anything. You simply cannot let this civilization die.
There is a plan in work. I can't tell you more than that.
It's Mother. Hurry.
I go to any lengths to get your attention.
You always did have a flair for the dramatic.
Wait. This episode...
Remember, put your shoes away.
I promise.
Oh my gosh.
Children are certainly making a lot of noise in here.
You shouldn't be outside so long. Damaging, you know that.
It's time to go see the launching.
What launching? What's he talking about?
Sending up a missile, Father.
Well, I'm not going anywhere to watch anything.
Let's go see the launching.
Oh.
Breaks my heart to look at him. He deserves a rich, full life, and he's not going to get one.
He looks like someone I've seen.
Please come, Father.
He's just gotta commit, you know? Just commit. Shave it all off.
What is it they're launching?
Probe.
You've already seen it.
What are you talking about?
Don't you remember?
Die.
We hoped our probe would encounter someone in the future, someone who could tell the others about us.
Oh, it's me. I'm the one it finds. A probe that finds me in the future.
Yes, my love. The rest of us have been gone 1,000 years. If you remember what we were and how we lived, then we'll have found life again.
Helene.
I'm trying. My brain is doing this. It's just not doing this.
Now we live in you. Tell them of us, my darling. Something's happening.
The nucleonic beam has ceased, Commander.
Put a tractor beam on that probe. I want it in Shuttle Bay 2 for examination.
Please, Captain, don't get up too quickly.
He lived a lifetime.
Shuttle be gone. How long? 20, 25 minutes.
Captain, I want you in sick bay. I'd like to run a full diagnostic on you.
Dr. Crusher.
Why do I feel like crying? I don't know. He's had too many people play with his mind, but I get why this one, he's gonna tell about their civilization, but that's a lot of responsibility on him. I think I'm crying because he had wife and children and grandchildren that he loved, and
I find that I'm having to rediscover that this is really my home.
We were able to open the probe and examine it. Apparently, whatever had locked on to you must have been self-terminating. It isn't functioning any longer. We found this inside.
I know what it's gonna be. Episode was thought-provoking. I'm gonna say profound and also heartbreaking. I can't imagine that time felt real to him in that. So I also don't really understand. So was that like a simulation basically for his mind, but so that he could get to know their culture? So Cayman was a real person, or that was part of the simulation and everyone was pretending? I need to go dive deep into some wikis or fandoms or something. But if I just forget about all the technical stuff and like when Picard wakes up, is his brain had 30 years of being away from himself? Like, is he gonna know how to like remember how to do the stuff on the ship? Do you know what I mean? So, okay. So if I forget all that technical stuff, and I just focus on he lived a life. He lived a whole life with love and babies. It almost reminded me of About Time, one of my very favorite movies. And he said that beautiful quote to his daughter, like, I think I have it on a shirt. And I was wondering if I would see where that quote came from about living in the now and seizing the moment. And I just can't imagine the emotional trip that's gonna take on him. And it's also kind of a beautiful thing that he got to live that life. To him, it was very real. He got to live that life, have a wife and children, and then come back and also do what he loves. I don't know. I feel like I saw something special, but I'm not equipped yet. Like, I feel like it's gonna take me some reflection to properly explain why. Anyways, wow. Very different from anything I've seen anywhere, like on any show, like that idea. Okay, I need to think about that one for a long time while that flute music plays. Thank you so much for watching along with me. Next, I'm watching the season finales. Okay, I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts, observations, feelings about that episode in particular. Okay. See you next time.